May I please have your full and undivided attention? It is time for the Paranormal Rundown. Hello, this is Cedric Dankworth Smythe. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome all fans of the paranormal, the supernatural, the unusual, the entertaining, the terrifying, the horrifying, and those things that go bump in the night and in the daytime too. This is the one and only Paranormal Rundown, where the lads, the gang of nerds, choose from over 2,700 carefully curated paranormal topics. Like all thriving and growing things, the Paranormal Rundown must grow and change. So tonight's episode is devoted entirely to welcoming the newest member of the Paranormal Rundown team, the gang of nerds, Randy. Randy is a scientist, a seeker, and 100% capable of holding his own and enhancing the Paranormal Rundown world. Let's get going. Let's hear what Randy has to say. The first of many episodes, hopefully, where Randy makes the Paranormal Rundown a better place.
Hi, my name is Vic Hermanson. I am the progenitor of the Paranormal Rundown. It was originally my idea, not made to do it with other people. It was just something I came up with to try to make my own podcast, Trailer Trash Terrors, a little more interesting. One day I got a call from a former member of the Paranormal Rundown, JJ Johnson, asking me if I had anything I could help him with to get out an episode, because he needed to publish an episode to stay on time and he didn't have anything ready to go. So I said, well, hey, I've got this strange little thing I've been working on called the Paranormal Rundown, and I've put together all these random topics that I want to just choose and talk about without any pretense, without any rehearsal. He said, oh, that sounds fun. He said, why don't we get Dave? See if Dave will come in and join us. I said, okay, let's get Dave. See if Dave will come in and join us. So for that first episode, we didn't even call it the Paranormal Rundown. The idea was that I would make a podcast out of it and JJ would make a podcast out of it. Both of us taking advantage of Dave. And I think I had 106 topics. Huh. I mean, you were there, Dave. It was somewhere around 106.
Yeah, it was just over 100.
Yeah, 106, 108 or something. And then something happened in the realm of being obsessive, and it started growing. And I can remember, after a week or so, I was up to 500 topics, and everybody would say, oh man, that's enough. And then after another couple of weeks, it'd be to 800. Well, it's continued to grow. It is now, what did I send you last night, Randy? 2,804.
Oh, we breached 800, 2,800, huh?
Yeah, we're
over 2,800. You're gonna have to redo the intro.
More than 2,800. Well, more than 2,700 is still more than 20.
It doesn't sound as good.
but so anyway, we just decided we would try to make a program out of this, and for the most part, it's been a tremendously fun and creative and successful thing to do. And it falls right in line with my idea of how this kind of thing should be approached intellectually. So my background, if you wanted to place me among people, I should be a totally materialist, atheist kind of guy. In that, it's been heavy in science, heavy in math. I've been around lots of Mensa people, 999 people, and they kind of find me to be an anomaly. Okay, why is somebody as intelligent as you still worrying about a God? And I said, my standard answer is, why is someone as intelligent as you not worrying about a God? And I've just always gone along with, I guess what I'd say, Stephen Jay Gould. The world breaks down into different ways of thinking. And they're not fighting, and they're not mutually exclusive. And one can be a scientist and see the mystical side of life, and one can be a mystic and see the scientific side of life. But it's very hard to find podcasts out there that do that. Blurry Creatures does it a little bit. So I've always wanted us to have this huge bank of topics that we can talk about from any position. We can talk about it as Father Mike, if he wants to talk about it from a theological standpoint. If I want to talk about it from a evolutionary mathematical standpoint. If Dave wants to talk about it from a data-driven standpoint. And if a guest wants to come in with a specific set of experiences that they want to use, that's fine too. I've never wanted there to be any kind of forbidden topics. Now, there are some topics that make me uncomfortable. There's probably some topics that make other people uncomfortable, but they're still not forbidden.
And there are lines with Father Mike you have to draw, but not official topics.
So I don't know if we should, at some point place rabbits on the forbidden topic list, but anyway, so J.J. Johnson, because of changes in his life, has had to drop out of the podcast. And so it was left to Father Mike, Father Josh, myself, and Dave. And that's enough to do a podcast, but we have always felt like we're sort of missing something. And what we're missing is that fourth mind, that fifth mind, that mind that can come in and give its own view on things. So several episodes recently, we've had a guest named Randy. And that's going to be his name on the podcast. He's going to simply be Randy, like the amazing Randy. And we've invited him to be a full-time member, to be a full-time contributing member. He has graciously accepted. And so this podcast, this quick podcast, is welcoming him to the show and giving everybody a chance to talk about what they see the Paranormal Rundown being. How'd I do there?
You did great.
That was awesome.
I would...
except when Dave threw me under the bus.
I just pointed out that you threw yourself under the bus. That's all. I'm just observing reality.
The rabbit thing is hilarious.
Oh, yes. Man. Yeah, but you got to watch him because he goes down the wrong rabbit holes.
He will.
And we're going to leave it at that, Father Mike.
Okay.
Okay. I don't have to make any cuts on this episode. So Randy is someone whom I had some conversations with, off and on for the past year or so, I think, Randy, right?
Maybe even the last 2 years.
Yeah. Maybe even that long. I looked it up, Vic. The first rundown was October 17th, 2022. We've been doing this for over 3 years now.
Wow.
Isn't that incredible?
It doesn't seem that long.
It doesn't, and yet sometimes it does. It's just like marriage, right? I've been married 25 years. I've been married 25 years. It's all in the,
But I wouldn't know because I dodged that bullet so far.
Yes, you did, Father Josh. But
good man.
I am a member, like Randy, of the Into the Fray Patreon Discord with Shannon LeGros, and I met him through that, and we've had some conversations off and on, directly or in the group chats there. And I liked the way he thought. I thought he had some really interesting experiences, which is why we invited him on the rundown. And I think it's worked out really well. I think he fits great into this team. He has, a varied background. He's got different. He's not Catholic. He's got a little bit different beliefs in life, and it's great to have different perspectives. And so we welcome you, Randy. We are really happy to have you join us.
Well, thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here. For those who haven't heard my couple of episodes, again, I am Randy. Um, I'm just a nerdy science and paranormal loving guy who just is really happy to get into deep conversations about the really interesting stuff in life. Background real quick. So I was raised extremely religious, like charismatic, Pentecostal, non-denominational, people falling on floor, speaking in tongues, all that jazz. That's my background, how I was raised. I went from that to some stuff in the military and then eventually into science in college where I studied things like immunology, microbiology, and just medical laboratory science, things along those lines. So I love the science, but I was always raised in the spiritual, and so it's always just been a part of my life. That as well as the fact that my family is just full of some pretty hardcore experiencers. I grew up around people who have just had things happen to them their whole lives, and I have been less of an experiencer than a lot of people in my family. I've had some weird things that happen to me, but I'm nowhere near what a lot of the people I'm surrounded by are. But what experiences I've had and what things I've seen from the people around me, it's just never been a question that there is more to the world than what science gives us. And I love science. I'm a nerd. Like I I'd love to look in the microscope. I love to see all that stuff. I do chemistry and blood banking, all the fun nerdy stuff. But there's more to, there's things that science just does not answer yet or may never answer. And that's the stuff that when I'm not using my science brain, I love to think about. And most people, I mean, you want to talk to them about ghosts or cryptids or UFOs, if they talk to you at all, they're going to have a very brief, well, I kind of had a weird thing happen, but I don't want like to talk about it. It freaks me out. Like you can't really go deep with people. So having a group like this where I can just have a deep 2 or 3 hour long conversation about all the weird stuff in the world, like I love that. It's amazing. So I'm very happy to be here and I hope I can be a good contributor to the team.
Well, you
Well,
already have been, and we
absolutely.
love 3 hour long conversations about the paranormal. So you're in the right place.
I'm actually curious. You said you mentioned that you had um, experienced some things, not as much as others, but what things have you experienced that you
Well, I mean,
like?
in general, without going to the whole 3 or 4 hour long rundown of everything, if you will. I mean, I've had mostly some limited, like kind of more paranormal, what people might call ghost experiences. I've had some things where I've kind of run into creatures in what you might call like kind of the astral world or spirit world and stuff like that. Run into a few things like that. I've just had a few weird things happen around me. Like things might go flying off a shelf somewhere, whether it's poltergeist stuff or doors opening up for me that I'm reaching towards and they were locked just a second ago. And just weird little stuff. But there's people in my family they've seen UFOs, they've seen shadow people, they've had all sorts of sleep paralysis, all sorts of strange experiences. And so I've just always been surrounded by it. And also on the religious side, since there are some people who worry that everything's religious with this group. I mean, I was raised very religious, like I said, but I mean, over the years, I've kind of fallen away from the dogmatic knowing I'm right viewpoint of things. Like I definitely believe that there is something bigger than us out there, but I no longer claim that, say, the Christian way is the only way or the right way. I don't know that. I'm not saying any particular path is the correct path for me, which differs from a lot of people in this group. But I'm never going to look at someone who's Muslim or Buddhist or Hindu and say that I'm right and you're wrong because I don't think any of us knows for sure. Like all of those traditions, they have miracles, they have spiritual experiences, and so I'm very much more open-minded with my viewpoint of spirituality. So yeah, you're not always going to get the full Christian shebang with me in the group.
I like that.
Find that.
I like that. And one thing that impressed me, and by the way, I'm Father Mike Birdsong. My first experience with Randy was last week, as a matter of fact, and it was a wonderful show. And the short time that I was able to be with him was great, and I really enjoyed that you understood the spiritual point, but you have a great desire to go beyond that. And that's who we are. We want to talk about those hard things that I say sometimes, and all the different topics, and the topics are made to trigger our knowledge and to make us think, if you will, to go out of our box, out of our normal self, but yet have the same foundation, and each one explore an idea based upon that. And it's really affected me in my own lifestyle and in my own thought process. That you're right, Randy, there is something greater out there. And when I first heard the word paranormal rundown, I'm like, paranormal. I'm thinking, okay, what kind of cult are you getting me involved in, Josh? I mean, but I had to relearn that word. That, I mean, even when you talk about the sacraments of the church, that is a paranormal thing. It's where something natural touches the supernatural. So that made me start thinking in a different way. And but I welcome you, but I welcome you for a reason, that you can talk serious and that you can be funny all at the same time, because we are a group of guys that we can talk about anything at any time and go down rabbit holes and talk about all kind of crazy stuff. But one thing that I love about this group, and that I think you're going to be a great part of, is these guys really care about the people. And that is the only reason that I'm a part of this today, is that I learned that these guys care about people. We
That,
can
and we
we
won't
can
let
have
him go.
fun. Well, that too, but
Right.
but serious. I mean, Dave and Vic, Josh, and I know you'll get to meet George if you hadn't already. They really care. And when people write to us and need help, we respond. And, most people say, drop me a line at so what, so what, so what, so what, they don't really mean it. But this group means it.
Mm-hmm.
And that is who we are. And Dave and Vic know that when I say something like that, I truly mean it. So I welcome you, Randy, it's not a group. You're going to find out real quick, like, that we're family.
Very
And
much so.
that's what it's all about. So for what it's worth, from Father Mike, welcome to the show in the group.
Thank you very much.
Now, one of the things I was hoping to talk about today, and we're not doing a full episode or anything, or really going into paranormal topics. So this is just sort of an introduction of Randy. And then I wanted to address guests on the show. We've had some great guests.
Yes,
Really
we
have.
have.
I
We
mean,
have.
really have. I mean, from authors to family to people with varied experiences. It's been really, really good. And everyone that we've had on, we haven't had a single guest on who walked away and was like, that was okay.
No, they love it.
They all end going, that was a fun conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so recently we had a guest on who was real hesitant at first. And contacted us and wanted to be on the show. And then once they listened to some episodes, in depth, they're like, wow, you guys are, this is really about Christian theology. And I don't, I just don't want to go that route. And we respected it. But I'm like, I want you to listen to some other episodes and really reconsider. And after a while, he listened and he was like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. Okay, I can have this conversation. And we had a blast. It was a great conversation.
Well, one thing, Dave, is just like I was saying a while ago, and I'm glad you said that because I now have the words that I wanted to say. We can be whatever we need to be at any given time. And what I mean by that is we can have a true discussion without the serious theological part.
Right.
I mean, we are to someone where they are. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
I mean, I if you were a guest on my show, I'm going to speak to you where you are. Now, I may talk about some theological things, but it's not going to be shoved down your throat,
Well, and I think that's part of what's unique about this podcast is like Ending the Curse. Your podcast is focused on theology. It is focused on religious implications and topics. Vic's Trailer Trash Tears is focused on whatever's on Vic's mind this week, as we know. And I've yet to do mine, but when I do, it'll be focused on, serious spiritual warfare.
Well, see, that's the beauty of the rundown to me. The thing that I love the most about the rundown is that it doesn't matter where you come from. There's always something that we can talk about, whether it's paranormal, something natural, something theological. I mean, we can just hit that button and have 6 topics to discuss something and broaden and strengthen our minds and become more enlightened as we talk.
can even talk about golden hemorrhoids.
No. One of our funniest titles.
You knew it was coming.
I knew something was coming. I know, but that's okay. That's not too bad. But this is the point. So each of these podcasts has specific focus, but the rundown, Vic started it as this great exploration of all these topics, but I view the rundown as a humorous way to explore reality.
Yeah.
Because that's really what we're doing. We're taking these edge cases, these unique experiences, and using them to try to fill out in our mind what is reality.
Yeah.
That's what it all comes back to. And yes, our theology, our personal beliefs affect how we each individually view that reality. But when we have guests on, we want them on because we want their view.
Exactly.
We're not here to convert guests.
Exactly.
We're not here to Bible thump and say, this is the way, right? We're here to explore, gather information, and toss around ideas about how reality works. None of us knows the answer. None of us knows what is real or not until the day we die, and then maybe not even then. But we can all explore it and talk about it.
And one thing I want to talk about real quick, like Dave, and I want you and Vic to chime in too, is the responses that we get. We get people that hear an episode, it connects with them, they're going through something for whatever topic it is, and they want help, and we're there to give it.
Yeah, that does happen.
Yeah,
it does happen. That happened several times. And we'd like to hear from everybody, right? Feedback at paranormalrundown.com.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
We want to hear your own personal experiences. We want, if you're having issues and you want input on it, excellent. Email us. And most importantly, if you have an interest in a variety of paranormal topics and a sense of humor, come on the show. And I swear, we will not sit you down and give you a Bible study. That is not why we're here.
No, we won't.
Don't be nervous. We keep trying to get on like a real hardcore atheist, and we just can't seem to find one that wants to be on the show. So if you're out there,
right.
Vic really wants to talk to you.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny with me, with my background, because I'm surrounded by everything from super hardcore spiritual people to your materialist atheists, because I do work in science.
Mm-hmm.
At one point while I was in college, around the same time, I had both my more spiritual friends give me a book on like Christian apologetics and things, trying to convince me to not step away from things in the church, while at the same time I had my biology professors give me Richard Dawkins books because they were worried I was too spiritual for them. And so, like, at the same time, I had people worried about my soul and people worried about my science, giving me opposing books all at the same time. And then I also run around and I have friends who are even pagan. Like it just, I play with everyone, and I love all the stuff. So
what I like, and I'd love for you to be a part of it too. One of the reasons why I'm glad you're part of us now is that you can bring in the spiritual along with the science.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been one topic that Dave and I have been talking about in the classes that we're teaching about the demonic. Is I wanted him to come up with where science meets theology, or where science meets Christian belief or faith, and I'm excited to have you. I really am. And so the only advice that I can give you is get ready.
Yeah, hold on tight.
Hold on tight.
Well, anything else anybody's got?
Vic?
Well, it's interesting how the show has developed, because in truth, you're the Glenn Shotwell now.
The who?
Glenn Shotwell, or what's her name? Gwen Shotwell, not Glenn Shotwell. Gwen, what an idiot. Gwen Shotwell. She's the person who runs SpaceX.
Ah, okay.
Okay, you might think of Elon Musk as being the person who runs SpaceX, but no, he's kind of the public face. He's an idea generator, but the person who runs it day to day is Gwen Shotwell.
So she's the head in the background.
Yeah, she's the head in the background. Right. Dave has become the Gwen Shotwell of the show. I help Dave as I can. I hope he doesn't ever feel like I've foisted things off on him.
No.
I think he's having fun.
Absolutely. Yes.
And I focus on making the list longer and occasionally trying to find guests and sort of honing the way that I want to approach all this stuff. So everybody finds a role. Father Mike is our voice of the spiritual and a really, really good comedian. And so Randy will find a place to be, and it'll be a better show because of it.
And Father Josh is our identifier of all information and research.
Father Josh, who's your buddy there?
Thor. This is Thor. He's three quarters Australian Shepherd and a quarter lab.
Okay.
Dave knows Thor intimately.
And 100% trouble.
He is fine as long as you're sitting down.
When
you stand up to leave, he doesn't
or
like
arrive.
He doesn't want you to come in, and then he gets used to you, and then when you stand up to leave, he doesn't want you to leave. So he's going to let you know.
He's a sweet baby.
I have a completely off-the-wall question to ask Randy, and I actually have a reason for asking this question. Do you ever get the chance to use electron microscopes?
I have not done that since
They are
2014-ish.
Okay.
So 2014-15, I had about a year that I worked with a cryo-electron microscopy lab, and so I did a little bit of stuff with them. Our hours of when all the postdocs wanted to be in that lab and when I had time available didn't always mesh well, so I didn't get to play with them as much as I wanted to. But I have imaged some simple viruses and done a little bit of stuff like that. Not too much. They're all transmission electron microscopes, not scanning. So yeah. So yeah, I have done a little bit of that.
Now, if that's the one that I'm thinking about, I used them as well. That's the one that you can run through your computer and it can actually go through a projector onto a screen, right?
Well, any microscope can do that. An electron microscope is using particles smaller than the wavelengths of light.
Okay, yeah.
So that you can envision things much smaller.
Right.
Yeah, you wouldn't have used that at the mill.
And there are two types, and he's talking about the transmission, which is essentially, everything you put in an electron microscope has to be dead, or will be dead. But you're actually shining or passing these particles through the sample. The scanning microscope kind of often you coat that sample in gold, and then it kind of bounces these electrons off of that. You get this wonderful 3D view of things.
Well, the one that I used, you'll have to tell me which one it was, but certain chemicals, I could take samples of them and make a baseline, okay? And then when the same chemicals came in, if I was having trouble, I could measure the new one
against the. Is that like a mass spectrometer?
That sounds like a
spectrometer.
Sounds like a spectrometer.
A mass spectrometer. That's what I was using. Yeah, it was a mass spectrometer. Thank you, Dave. It left my memory.
I'd like to have one of those to play with too.
Yeah, like gas chromatology in there maybe too.
Yeah. One cool thing I used was it was one of the newer stethoscopes that actually played like the sound waves and all. It was all digital instead of just straight mechanical. Mm-hmm. It was crazy to see, but it was just a little thing that you would just put on someone's chest and you could hear it in your your earbuds. You could hear the heartbeat.
Kind of like an analog versus a digital.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
The reason I'm asking is, have you ever listened to a podcast that had a quick guest or a caller, and they said something really bizarre, and it kind of sticks in your head, and then you go back and you try to find the same thing, and you realize you had no idea which podcast you were listening to begin with.
That's it all the time, probably. Yeah. I've listened to thousands of hours of podcasts. Yes. I could never tell you what I heard where.
Well, this one guest was talking about, he was saying he was a medical imaging expert, including MRIs and CAT scans and electron microscopes and gas chromatography and all that kind of stuff. And he was saying that certain supernatural entities make themselves known only through like MRI images or around MRI images, or are so tiny that they can only be detected through electron microscopy. And I want to find...
That is a tiny paranormal.
I want to find that guy. But I have no idea which podcast I was listening to at the time, what year it came from, and certainly not who this guest was. So I thought maybe if Randy had been using a lot of electron microscopes, he had seen these, tiny miniature electron microscope entities.
Unfortunately, I had not. I was
Have you ever seen anything in a scope or test that was like really
abnormal, just crazy?
No. I mean, I've had things pop off in the lab, but it's more like just around the lab and the environment of the lab, not something specific into a sample itself. So, with the electron microscope, besides imaging some herpes virus stuff. I was looking at like type 6 secretor systems for bacteria, which are basically little weapons that just stab each other. So bacteria can murder each other. They need
Excellent.
to, they're battling it out. So yeah, interesting, but not paranormal.
Well, we'll have lots of time to explore all of this because you're stuck with us now. So we got lots of Randy time in upcoming episodes.
Looking forward to it.
Yep, absolutely. Anything else, Vic, or are we?
No, I think we've accomplished what we came to accomplish. Randy, welcome. Look, anything you worry about, wonder about, need, let us know.
And you've been sent the list, so we expect you to give us at least 100 new topics by Christmas. I mean, we'd really like to breach 3,000.
Oh yeah.
But if we could get 2,900, I think that would be a sufficient. Yeah. Is that right, guys? Any new member has got to contribute 100 topics, right?
That's right.
That was the agreement.
That's right.
It's harder for each new member.
Actually,
it's in the contract.
You get more and more stuff you have to sit
Hey,
through.
but I had to sign in blood. You didn't.
Actually,
you're getting off easy.
the previous episode actually reminded me of a couple of things that we could add to the list when we were talking about the dog soldiers and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the movie, by the way.
Oh, did you? What'd you think?
Did you like it?
It was pretty
Yeah.
cool. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
It's a good one.
My favorite scene is still the scene with the guys boxing the werewolf. That's just
Toe to toe, man. Mike Tyson style.
Yeah.
But a lot of Native American legends about the old giant spirits that they called. I'll send it to y'all. It's pretty neat. Figure we could add that to the list too.
We still have to get into the whole giants in the Book of Enoch conversation, Father Mike. Don't think I haven't forgotten.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, see that made me think of that as well. The giants, the giant spirits that the Native Americans saw that were devouring people. It kind of reminded me of the Book of Enoch as well, which is pretty interesting.
All right. All cultures around the world have these giant stories. Something to it.
All right, so
does
let's
the basement of the Smithsonian, if you believe some people.
Oh, right.
Yeah, the sub basement. I don't know if you can find him in the basement. You got to go down a couple.
Well, that's the
levels.
opening to 2 or 3 podcasts where there's this guy talking like, well, the agreement was that if anybody found a giant skeleton, the Smithsonian was supposed to go get it.
Yep.
That's actually a topic in the list. But all right. So thank you, Randy. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Father Josh. Thank you, Father Mike. And
thanks to all our guests out there.
Absolutely.
Our guests. Our future guests out there that are listening right
future
now.
guests and listeners. And
please let us know you want to be on the show.
if you are that hardcore, dyed-in-the-wool atheist materialist out there, come forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We welcome you.
And
Sounds good.
I just want to say to what Vic was just talking about, if there's any hardcore atheists out there, don't feel like you're going to join in and we're all just going to jump on you and beat you to the ground and call you a sinner dog.
That's not what we're about.
Nope.
We're just going to talk with you. We're going to have a civilized discussion and have a good time. That's all.
We don't even want to have a heated debate. It's literally an exploration of ideas.
Exactly.
Yes.
Hello. This is Avalon Lee and Dankworth Smythe. And so it came to pass that Randy was made a full and equal member of the Paranormal Rundown crew. As this episode is being published on Christmas Eve, the gang of nerds and the extensive disembodied consciousness gang would like to take this chance to wish all of you the merriest possible Christmas. Or the most joyous possible version of whatever you happen to celebrate during the bleak midwinter. A great many positive changes are coming to the Paranormal Rundown, and I'll pass things back to Vic Hermanson to give you the critical information concerning those changes.
Hello, this is Vic Hermanson, coming to you from the huge and sprawling Paranormal Rundown headquarters. And once again, Merry Christmas from all of us, the gang of nerds, myself, Dave, Father Mike, Father Josh, and Randy, the newest member of the crew. Beginning in January, there will be a new podcast entirely, Paranormal Rundown Rabbit Holes. It'll be a shortened version of Paranormal Rundown, and we'll make it more accessible to many people, we hope. We will be publishing in video by episode 54. Also in January, we have a website coming, paranormalrundown.com. Did I say .com? I guess I did. Paranormalrundown.com. There will be polls on Spotify. The first one we have is trying to get information from you concerning videos. And most importantly, we are desperately trying to grow the show and our audience in 2026. So we'll do the standard thing and ask you to like, subscribe, review, pass along to friends, family, co-workers, and as Chris James says, tell the neighbors, tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell people you don't even know. They'll look at you strangely, but it'll be a blast. Be sure to check out our X account, as we will be Xing, is that the word, Xing? Yes, I guess it is, frequently, with daily list entries from the 2,700 paranormal topics that make up the Paranormal Rundown list. We genuinely, really want to hear from you. Even if it's just to hear you say, I'll never listen to this piece of garbage again. And if you do, we'd really like you to email us a particular thing. Give us your ultimate rundown list. 6 topics, with a description that you would like to hear us talk about on the show. That's how you can make this a better place. Again, Merry Christmas to all, and to all, a good night.